originally I went to UVA just to be a part of the band program there. Bill Peace was my high school band director, and little before he took the job at UVA, he ran into my dad and said, that he was going to go there and he might have an opportunity to be a grad student, and it popped up and it sort of all flurried up at the last moment, and I said, this is a great experience, a great opportunity, and so I jumped on it. I finished my job in Norfolk in June, and I think I headed up to Charlottesville pretty quick after that, and I remember one of our first meetings was just sort of looking at orange hats laid out on the floor with Drew Ross and Island, and trying to figure out which orange hat would best fit the uniform, and it was very exciting, very exciting. Other than my graduate classes, it was what I did 24/7. It was great to be involved in and just really be a part of that historic first year. Kept me pretty busy, that's for sure, especially during football season, even in basketball season. It was just a lot of fun. We had sort of specific roles to do, like uniforms. I got to play with, and drill was on and off. I got to, like I said, I got to do that one show, which was pretty neat. I also had to do the bass guitar in the stands, and I'll never brag about being a great bass guitar player because there were some rough moments on my end. And we would just jump in during rehearsals and take over our sections and help out as best we could. I think the biggest difference, LSU had been established for years and years with that marching band, and with UVA it really was like that inaugural year of getting all the kinks out. Where at LSU, with their army of grad students who knew exactly what to do, we were just kind of taking things on as they came and figuring out, just trying to make it work as best as it could, and get that show on the field. I think I learned a lot. At my current job, but the job I took when I left UVA was a small high school job out in North Carolina on Hatteras Island. Very small program, but I really learned to take almost nothing. I think I had 5 high school kids my first year, and really build it up into a really respectable band program. I mean, I think we have about 100 musicians in the bands, and we have jazz band, marching band, concert bands, and I think just going through that process of struggling and then getting through it really helped me out at UVA. At LSU, and they have whole new facilities now. I haven't been down there yet, but they even back then they had their own marching wind ensemble building and offices, and we were all cramped in that 247B. You had Peace and Doug in there, and then we were just right over here was all the grad students clumped up. So we were always on top of each other, and I think now they're much more spread out, and it's probably easier to get stuff done, especially for Peace without us in there bothering them. Spats, I don't think I'll ever use spats with my band again. They look really good on the shoe when you guys are marching around, but to take those off and the snaps constantly breaking, it was a headache. One of the more challenging times was definitely during band camp. They put the band up in the hotel, which was a new experience. I mean, you guys were having a lot of fun. And I was in a room with Drew and Island trying to figure out how to work this drill writing program to get this pregame drill down that we had to get done every night. So it was a little bit stressful, but I think we got it done, and I think it turned out well. It was a real neat memory, like I had mentioned, just working on the drill, especially the pregame drill. Mr. Peace had a lot of ideas about we want to go into the rotunda here, we want to do the hooch here, and trying to figure that out on paper was tricky. I've written a lot more marching drill after that point, but especially at that point, that definitely was not a strong suit for me. It was really difficult getting the students to come out into that initial block out of the tunnels, the run out of the tunnels. And I just remember for nights in a row, Drew and I would look and try to make it work on the program, and it just couldn't get it to work. And then it was Island who came in, and I think he had the key of let's do this and break the lines up and come this way. And then it just kind of clicked, and that was a really neat moment where we could finally go, all right, let's put this on the field. I still keep in touch with those guys on and off throughout the year. I'll shoot texts back and forth or emails, some more than others. I know Trisha Gooley, the color guard, she got married, and every once in a while she actually came out to a couple of competitions that we did here a week ago. And and Drew Ross keep in touch with a lot, so really nice, a neat experience that we can all share. Probably don't realize, a lot of people didn't realize a lot of the grad students all lived together in one apartment at UVA. So we would work all day and rehearse all day, and we'd come home, and it was all 4 of us in an apartment, kicking it and just, trying to make it through. It was me, Drew, Island, and Trish. We had a nice little support group, and kept on working through the night. So many great moments. I think, the one that sticks out a lot is when we did the Temptation show. Since I did bass guitar for a lot of the stand tunes, I came down and got to play the My Girl lick on the field with the Temptations for that halftime show. And I don't consider myself a great bass player, but to be able to do that and not screw it up in front of those guys was pretty fun. Pretty neat. The band camp was really amazing to me, just because of the caliber of students that we got to work with. The musicianship was on such a high level. Obviously the instruments that they had were silver everything, and the students could play. I mean, it was amazing to work with them, and especially at that level, and be like, wow, we're going to go from here to here. We're not starting down here, and these guys can really play. And I think just the overall students and what they were capable of doing just shocked me. It was great. We did the show with a song called "School's Out for Summer," and that one was pretty close to me because I actually got to write the drill for that show. And so, it was really my first time, taking on the drill and trying out some movements on the program, and then seeing that come alive on the field was pretty neat. I guess part of the other story of going to UVA, like I said, my dad had run into Peace beforehand, and then shortly after that, probably 3 or 4 months, my dad had suddenly passed away. And then UVA sort of came up right at the end of the school year I was teaching, and I just sort of jumped on it, kind of just to keep moving. Yeah. I just feel a sense of pride when I see the band, and I know just the high level of expectations that they have, just from putting the spats on and taking them right back off to taking care of those uniforms every week. It's just a nice memory. I knew it was going to be big. Peace usually gets involved in big stuff, and UVA being what UVA is was very exciting. I remember a lot of the drama that was there with the previous Scramble band, and wondering what was going to happen there. But it was definitely, it was going to be big.